Alrighty, looks like we are live. Sip of my water. Welcome, welcome, welcome to my channel Ride, Pray, Love, where we are all about empowering and uplifting and inspiring you during these changing times by connecting to Source, the medicine of the horse, and beyond. And today I am wanting to connect with you on a couple of levels. First, I want to share some important, just say updates or announcements around some tweaks or changes I will be making going forward. And a second, I wanted to hopefully share with you, behind the scenes, my decision-making process to help you if you're someone who, like me in the past, really had trouble making decisions and would really have a lot of self-doubt and second-guess myself. And I really didn't trust myself around making important decisions, and even sometimes simple ones like what to have for dinner, right? And so I want to chat with you about my process, what's helped me, and hopefully it'll help you too. But before we do that, today, and I apologize, I am using the phone app camera again, so hopefully the quality will be a little bit more clear for you, but it gets a little confusing looking at the two pictures. Anyway, bear with me, and if you have any feedback on the different photo quality, let me know. But yeah, let's start off with the updates or housekeeping, get that out of the way, and then we'll talk about my divine decision-making process, okay, or divine discernment and decision-making, however you want to look at it. So the first announcement or update that I want to let you know is moving forward. You may have been seeing this around on, other channels, or maybe not, depending on how much of a YouTuber viewer you are. And I want to let you know that I am going to be, I'm jumping on the YouTube Shorts horse, if you will. And so moving forward, you'll be seeing a number of just shorts, meaning less than a minute, officially less than 58 seconds, YouTube shorts, sharing some fun, uplifting content in under a minute, which I'm, accepting as a challenge and a fun new way of doing things. And for someone who kind of can go all over the place, it's really helping me learn to focus and zero in. So I hope you'll play with me. So I want to let you know about that. And the other thing, I was really thinking about it. And if you don't know me and you're new to me, I actually have kind of two tracks, if you will, of sort of my soul's calling, my soul's work, working with both two-legged and four, and the combination really when we're working with the latter, right? So, as far as my two-leggeds go, you may have heard me talk about my mission to really help empower women turn their pain into their power and really rise to their full potential during these times, giving them a loving leg up to help them from the inside out in their bodies and their lives really reclaim their personal power, remember their magic, and really step up to their next level and who they came here to be with more ease and grace. So that's kind of like one track. And then the other track is really, being the animal lover, being, the cosmic cowgirl, horse girl. I always will have a soft spot in my heart for not only working with the horses as my own medicine and bringing their wisdom and gifts to help others, which was part of the intent of this channel. And honestly, the work that I do with the women in the first track that I just covered is all based in the foundation of the wisdom and the golden nuggets and the spirit of horse that I have learned on my journey. Now, that being said, it still amazes me to this day how I still have people, either old clients or new people, like find their way into my life and seek my support with their horses and or animals. And given my background, in case you don't know, as a renegade holistic vet for over 2 decades, officially a DVM Cornell graduate, so I got my official traditional vet degree, and then I went rogue, right? After a few years of practicing both, holistic and conventional medicine. So that's why I call myself a renegade vet. Really focusing, my expertise is more on the holistic, natural, and cutting edge approaches. So I do want to also be of service to the horsey soul sisters, the horse guardians, the pet parents, and animal lovers that are part of my tribe as well. And of course, I welcome both if, whether you have them or not, but if you're just drawn to the spirit, was again the overarching, spirit of this channel. However, if you do have animals and, you would like to learn in that vein, the wealth of wisdom that I have gathered again in my practice from working with, hundreds and hundreds, maybe even thousands of horses and small animals and their guardians in my, 2-decade plus practice. And again, I still tend to do it here and there, behind the scenes. And so if you would like to really, learn more of those golden nuggets and information on that, what I've decided to do is originally I was going to do a second channel, but I'm actually going to do a separate pray list. So the ride, pray, love is the overarching umbrella of, anyone who is attracted to horse, the animal kingdom, Mother Earth, and desires to connect with Source, right, for their growth and healing and transformation. So the next playlist that I'm going to create is going to be called Happy, Healthy, Horse, and Human. And this is specifically for, again, my conscious horse guardians and pet parents. We love our small fur babies as well. Again, who would like to, get my support and learn about holistic, natural, cutting edge, magical ways to really rise to your next level and being the best guardian you can be for them, and potentially partner with your animals and sharing the journey along the way in a more obviously conscious, enlightened, expanded way. Anyway, that being said, be on the lookout. I'll be, doing some shorts and, a mixture of both shorts and regular YouTube content. And I will create a separate playlist for my horse guardians and pet parents. Okay. And I'll probably go back and some of the past videos that I do have that are in that vein, move them over there. So it'll be kind of 2 tracks. So hopefully that'll make more sense for people who specifically want to focus on, the animal piece, the horse piece, and then those who are here more for the spiritual growth piece, but, enjoy having the spirit of the horse sprinkled in, if you will, as well as, my astrology and everything else that I'm into as the creative, multi-passionate soul that I am. So hope that makes sense. I just wanted to give you that sort of heads up. And what else? Okay, so, I think that's it on the announcements. So for today, what I wanted to share with you to hopefully help you, again, with this divine decision-making process and practicing discernment, because chances are too, if you're someone like me who used to second guess and get, really filled with that self-doubt or lack of confidence, and then go into that analysis paralysis and not be able to make a decision, right? And then we feel stuck and, and that just doesn't help anything, right? So if you are if you have that tendency or you struggle with that on some level, what I want to say is, you're not alone, and, it's not your fault, and to be gentle with yourself, because chances are, like me, you potentially had some sort of either trauma and or unsupportive upbringing or experience that caused you to start to lack confidence in your ability to make decisions and not trust yourself. So, that awareness, first of all, piece, I think is really important. And, the self love, compassion, and gentleness. Okay. So, that first piece I want to bring in. The second one I want to bring in is when we look at research, and, research and studies have shown us that most people, the majority of people, when we make important decisions, especially around money, especially around, uh, like our work or career, and investing, in products or programs, right? We often, and I think the stats say that 90% of people, I think it was, actually make those decisions from their emotions. Okay. And actually, I want to take that back or correct myself, because the statistic, I believe, to the best of my memory, was mainly around actually purchasing decisions. So, like investing in, buying anything, and that was actually made in from our emotions. And I personally feel like that, the way we do one thing is the way we do everything. So, for me, that sort of ripples out and expands into other areas of our life, whether it's work or relationships or health or whatever. So, realizing that our emotions are a powerful driving force behind our decision making, I think is such an important piece of information. It was a huge light bulb for me when I learned that. And so that first step, again, going back to awareness, right? It's always the first step to, changing things, and expanding our, choices, right? First the awareness, and then the gives us more choices and options. So when we know that, something that I really, like to practice for myself and recommend is to, when you're making an important decision, or even you can start out with simple ones like, what's for dinner, right? To really step back and take a moment. And this is all again about, taking that wisdom of the horse and getting present, slowing down and getting present in the present moment, and ask yourself, like, excuse me, what emotions are present for you in the moment when you're about to make this decision, right? And so if you notice that your emotions are from a place of fear or pressure, fear of missing out, right? Bright, shiny object. If it's from a place of feeling like backed into a corner or whatever, that, like, notice your emotions before you actually make the decision, right? Slow down, get present, and expand your awareness around, whatever thoughts and feelings are up for you before you make the decision. And then when you have that information, if you are in a place where your emotions are actually not probably high vibe or helpful, such as the ones that I just mentioned, anytime we're coming from a place of fear, that is not helpful, right? Then what you want to do is give yourself permission to slow down even more and allow yourself some time to make that decision, whether it's like a 24-hour sleep on it, or, whatever it is. Every situation is going to be different, right? So just allow yourself to, slow down and get your emotions into a place where you feel grounded, where you feel present, where you feel like you are able to make your decision from a place of divine discernment. Now, for me, divine discernment is not coming from our head. There's wisdom and intuition, but it's a whole body, head, heart, gut, fully integrated place of divine alignment, where we are, again, when we know what is going on in all those areas, then we can have a practice or a tool, and there are many, and, for the purposes of this conversation, that's too much to go into here, but doing choosing a tool, using a tool to help you get into that place where you feel balanced, where you feel like your emotions are not, running the show, so to speak. And, I want to be clear here, because I am a huge fan of following our hearts, okay? But I think there can be a gray area with that. And again, making a decision from a place of, fear, or not really being empowered or grounded, when we do it. So I hope that makes sense. Okay. There's some nuances here. So, that first thing, the first secret, or the first tip, power tip, is going to be to, just check in where are your emotions? And then from there, you can either, if you feel like you're grounded, you're in a good place, go ahead and make your decision. If you are in a place of, again, unhelpful emotions, then you need to shift that before you make your decision. Now, the last piece that I want to add here is that, or actually two more points. One is when you follow your heart, ultimately, the way that I view and experiences it is you can't go wrong. Okay. So always at the end of the day, like when all else fails, if you follow your heart, I feel you have fewer regrets, right? And even if you make a decision that didn't quite work out, you know that you followed your heart and you can always course correct or, later on, right? Sometimes we don't know until we try. And here's that piece. When we take action, right? When we make a decision to take some sort of action, and say there's a part of us that's excited and we're following our heart, but then there's a part that is a little bit of fearful around making the wrong decision, or if we're actually capable of following through, or whatever might be coming up. Then that next piece is to you're going to fully trust yourself and your decision and your heart, right? And back yourself by staying the course and committing to following through on that decision. Let's say it's investing in a course, right? And commit to that, stay the course for at least 30 days, or that's an example. Like you feel into what is the time period that you want to commit to, so that feels right. And then you can kind of reassess after the 3 weeks or 30 days or whatever it is, what has shifted for you, and do you want to continue on, or go another direction. So to summarize this, rather than not taking action, because this is what I really want to hopefully inspire you, is that you want to take some sort of action, but you don't want to do it unconsciously and, again, from not a good place. And so, as I heard someone once say a long time ago, pick a horse and ride it, right? So you're going to pick a horse, ride it, stay the course, and then whether it's 3 weeks, 30 days, 2 months, 3 months, whatever it is, stay the course and then reassess. And so this brings to mind for me my veterinary, holistic vet practice background, a little bit more of a rational, almost scientific approach that I used to do with my clients, where whether we were doing, a treatment of body work and energy healing, and then adding on, adding on a nutritional supplement or an herbal formula or whatever it was, we're gonna, I would recommend staying the course. In other words, we're going to wait 30 days, try out this new supplement or whatever it is, or see how the horse responds to the treatment. Whether it's, 2 to 3, that would be more like a week to 2, depending on performance. But anyway, I'm just using examples, but essentially it's like, okay, let's reassess in 30 days and see where we're at. And then depending on, how things have progressed, we can again, either stay the course, go further, amp up the game, or course correct, right? So, bringing that in, I think, can be a really helpful tool or practice to your decision making. And at the end of the day, I just want to say that really, it comes down to your beliefs and self-love. And I recently heard somebody else say, and sometimes I get these from so many places it's hard to remember, but you don't get what you want, you get what you expect, or you get what you believe, right? So, if at the end of the day, deep down, you don't believe that you can have something, or you're capable, or you're worthy of something, that's unfortunately what you're going to get until you're able to shift that belief, right? And own your worthiness, for example. And so, when we can really work on trusting ourselves and believing in ourselves and doing the work for, this, then when we can shift our belief to one of trusting ourselves, trusting God and the universe to have our back no matter what, and we're not going to, screw up, we can move forward with more confidence and ease and grace, and trusting that no matter what happens, you are okay. No matter what happens, you get to either course correct or whatever along the way, right? So hopefully this helps. I would love to hear if you could relate to anything that I shared here, and what was most helpful for you. Please feel free to leave a comment below and to share this with a friend who you think might be it might be beneficial if you know of someone who has trouble making decisions. And so really the more people that I can impact and help with this message, the better. And I appreciate your support. So thanks in advance for, hitting that like button, subscribing, and sharing the love as you feel called. And so until next time, I will send you my unbridled love and blessings. Namaste. Ciao for now.